Hey, seconds per frame here with another video of Vampire Survivors. Still doing randomizer runs. It's getting harder and harder to pick characters which don't boost our run as much, so this time I think I'm going to go with Gennaro. And yeah, let's go for Green Acres, just because I want to hear some different musics while playing, and also, you know, the enemies are a little harder. So there's that. We've beat the other maps as of right now with ease, but yeah, who would have expected that I would get Vandalia in 2 consecutive runs. Santa Water, so our first item here. Which is not the strongest starting weapon, but you know, we have added projectiles, so there's at least that. I mean, every character brings something to the table, and which does help a randomizer run. Magic wand, nice. Well, maybe not Clarici. Should play that character at some point. But yeah, still keeping up, still having lots of fun with randomizer runs. I don't even have to think about my options and can just keep going. If you haven't tried it yourself, you know, and you're just thinking about what's there left for you to do, give it a try, definitely. It makes it more interesting. Oh, we managed to get a chest. This game really likes to push armor on me. I haven't had a run without it, I believe. God damn it. Well, anyway. It could be worse. We have Magic Wand for added protection, we have Knives, which does quite decent damage, Center Water of course on its own, quite ridiculous late game. Now with 1 extra projectile. But yeah. Let's see what kind of evolutions we manage to get this run, or maybe we don't get any at all, which might also happen, but yeah, Center Water on its own should be quite decent to help us win the run already. And if not, you know, I don't have a problem with losing a run for a change. But I hope it's not through my own stupidity, but just by getting weak items. And yeah, like with the other videos, something I've noticed, I've gotten ridiculous chest luck the last couple of runs. RNGs is definitely on our side. But yeah, it's just a theory for now. But I get more and more on the side of there is some hidden mechanics going on if you're only picking a first option. I don't know. It's nothing too concrete to go off, you know, believe, but yeah. It has been quite ridiculous. Usually, you know, every couple of runs you see a penta chest or 2, but I've got one in, or multiple in almost every one, and many triple chests as well. Quite ridiculous. Still a fan of shredding skeletons. I don't know what's it about killing undead in video games. I don't know. Always feels right, you know? Maybe there's something going on, you know, biologically with our species. Way back when, you know, necromancers were still roaming the lands. I don't know, back in the Dark Ages or something like that, or even before that. It's weird sometimes, you know. It's, at least in terms of, you know, popularity of zombies and how many cultures have stories about that, it's mostly due to, you know, Penny Valley stuff, and, you know, people just die, and death is scary, right? But, yeah, no. In terms of video games, I don't know. Maybe we are just conditioned to do or think so. Man, playing with knife, I would really like to try it with a controller rather than keyboard. Just because you can do some sick moves, you know, with knife. If you time it right, you can basically hit both sides at once, I believe. Someone close. Another chest. Not so lucky this time around. Never managed to get this amount of upgrades to chests and all that, and getting gold even before maxing out from chest. Kinda ridiculous. Especially, you know, this many times in a row. There's that. Clan circle is a go. And if I'm not mistaken, it should still hold on for 30 seconds or so. Or exactly. Oh no, we're playing the challenge map, it should be a minute, but we don't manage to kill them first. Yeah, I don't know why armor's showing up so often though. It's ridiculous. Got a decent rotation of items, weapons rather. But yeah, armor was always there right with us. Kinda sick of it though, but what can you do, right? Maybe some of the devs see my video and think to themselves, yeah, maybe we should adjust the probability, or, you know, maybe there's a purpose for it, I don't know. I haven't gone through the game code. I'm just taking some things here and there for my video thumbnails. You know, character images and item images and all that. Looks better that way than making a screenshot of in-game footage, which doesn't look as crisp. And making a screenshot of the items or characters from within the game has the same problem, you know, scale. With the game files itself, I'm also, you know, getting in by screenshotting them and then removing the backgrounds, but I first zoom in as much as I can before doing that, so the image does at least not get blurry. Which was something I recommended, or, you know, I linked to the file path in some of those subreddits posts in for Vampire Survivors, where there's basically this one dude, you know, he keeps an up-to-date image chart with all the weapon evolutions and fusions, and the last time he updated it took him a little bit because he had to unlock the combinations himself, so, you know, I recommend it to just take the image from the image file directly. Santa already doing good work out there. With Cross and Wand, things we didn't manage to get until late in the other runs, mostly, it's definitely good to have, especially, you know, it helps against getting surrounded, as you could have probably seen there, you know, they have a hard time catching me, you know, because just before they attack me, get knocked back. Also knives help as well, of course, but not as much as those two because of the knockback. Right now those enemies are quite weak, so doesn't matter that much against them, but it will at one point or another in the run, as the enemies get tankier and tankier. Oh, we have enough floor chicken lying around, which I will keep there for some time at least. I managed to not walk over it accidentally. Which is a decent tactic, especially, you know, if you're still lacking power-ups and all that. Just keep a chicken or two, you know, for emergencies. And don't walk too far, otherwise you lose more health getting there than getting from the item itself. It seems we're not as lucky this run, so yeah. My theory is crumbling, or rather, should be a hypothesis, right? I always confuse the two. I don't know why. I haven't tested my hypotheses, so it's not a theory. That's how it should be, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't particularly care, you know, I'm not going around the academic circles where I wouldn't make an ass out of myself confusing the two, but well, there you go. You know what I mean, at least, so that's a key point of communication, right? Even though I think my knowledge of the English language is proficient enough to hold a conversation, of course, otherwise, well, I wouldn't be talking in my videos, I would think, but it should be quite alright, although I'd imagine my accent is all over the place because I consumed English from all over the world. So I'm going to get out of here just because this gets a little spicy for me and we are still lacking damage, believe it or not. And on this map, oh, nice, okay, we get Clover, so we can evolve our cross, which is quite good for winning the run. I cannot kill this boss. Yeah. Center water takes some time to really get going. It doesn't help with enemies surrounding me, it just kills them further out, more likely than not. But at least I can go where it lands, so there's that. Now, if we were to pick up bracers, then that would be a whole nother story, because then we would have 1000 edge, which just melts dudes. Especially great against bosses, you know. Ah, there you go. Still one chest, eh? It's because we were prophesized from the RNG system to get Clover, so our luck was taken away and replaced by basic luck. Well, too bad, but at least it's it feels more like a regular run, not getting ridiculous chest drops all the time, which, you know, activates my neurons, of course, but can't get lucky all of the time, right? Yeah, looking forward to the new map though. Excited to see what they have in store for us. We talked about implementing new game mechanics alongside it, so and seeing by how they've talked about that for a couple of updates now, I believe, that should be quite something. A little bigger update, if you will. The only getting one or two new things which are unlocked easily each run is, well, it's kind of sad, but, well, mostly for, you know, the people like I am that have unlocked everything already, so there's nothing else to do with each upgrade, right? So it's kind of sad that it's over so quickly, but if you're fresh to the game, you know, with each update, new players will have more and more content to play around with. When I started it was maybe about, I don't know, 10 hours or so. Now you're probably closer to 20. Especially, you know, if you're not like me looking up all this to find out about the game at any given point, which I tend to do with every game. I don't know why. It's almost like a compulsion to do so. Okay, we picked up Ironheart, but now that we have it, we probably won't see Whip. Although I would really like to. It does help with the sustain. Come on, give me... Yeah. This pickup orb right here, which, you know, drops on occasion from Braziers, is the reason why you don't really need a tracked orb. It just gets you there a little quicker in terms of picking up experience. And a little safer as well, but other than that, you know, you're going to get at least one of those items sooner rather than later throughout the run. You know, and that's even without strictly aiming for the braziers, you know, going from one to the other. Just by, you know, pure rate settings. Look, there's another one. Yeah, at least we have tons of HP now. Oh, Rune Tracer. Almost picked a reroll there on accident. I quite like this passive though, you know, it's just a little damage boost every once in a while. Oh, this was the boss, I should not have run into him so daringly. Let's give our evolution a little time to kick in, there you go. Rune Tracer again, eh? Yeah. Probably our most damaging weapon at the end of the run. Although, getting into it at 40 minutes, I'm not entirely sure, but it should be up there either, you know, first or second place. Depending on what items we still manage to get. But I'm still liking the format though, it's quite cool. You know, not being sure what you get, but yeah, it goes to show that it does make the game way easier once you have got your power-ups going, which I, you know, talk about in every video basically, but it's true, you know, I want people to know. Spinach also, a great item. More damage is good. I'm going to take a little damage here just to, you know, focus on the boss, just to end him quicker, because he's a true danger in here. Especially if we get knocked into him. There's a chicken line around there anyway, so... You know... The game forced armor on us, so I'm going to make use of it. And exactly what I was talking about earlier, you know, not staying too far from the chicken you saved up, because otherwise, you know, you're going to take more damage getting there than from picking it up. It's just what happened there, but, you know, I don't sweat it. We have passive regeneration going on anyway, so shouldn't be too bad. Also, additional armor makes us quite tanky. Some kind of arena map, you know, where you can maybe have a menu for, you know, spawning in enemies. Trying out combinations. Wow. He died directly after the other one. More spinach. So one evolution, one top tier item without an evolution. Yeah, it's looking great, isn't it? It's looking great. More spinach, more tracer. Another tracked orb. Should get us another level up. More tracer. Oh, come on. Oh, I forgot about the potential of those boomers spawning. Damn, boomers spoil everything, you know. It's just how it is. But maybe 10 years down the line or so, we shouldn't have to deal with that shit anymore. Then I have become the boomer. You can complain about me then. Though the word should have lost all meaning by then, because it's not a generational thing anymore. Or maybe it doesn't, because There's still meaning behind it, which doesn't relate to when you have been born, but rather by how you act, so, you know. That's how it is. But we will see. It has been ingrained in our language quite heavily the last couple of years. Now, Mummy Wave is not that scary because they are quite slow and further apart. Yay, a triple chest. See, again, you know, always picking option 1 tends to max out your items sooner than playing regular runs. I don't know, it's Bracer, there you go, okay. Our next chest should get us 1000 edge then. So we rock into evolutions. So either we pick up Whip and evolve that, or we pick up Fire Wand and evolve that. Or, you know, we still got 2 open slots, so there's still potential for other combinations there. Yeah, not being in control of the evolutions, it's quite exciting though. Would recommend 10 out of 10. Or something along those lines. Excuse me. Yeah. I'm not quite a huge fan of Gennaro though. Not at all actually. It's just one more projector. Yeah, it sounds great at first, especially, you know, once you've unlocked him. But then you get Moteshio and, you know, you're doing the Toy Story scene basically, you know, I don't want to play with you anymore. It's just, it's okay, you know, it does not have any downsides really, but that's just it, you know, it's nothing to fawn over. Die already. Or it's great picking those items up. Get out of my way, I need 1000 edge. Running with knives. Or was it scissors? Yeah, scissors it was. Damn, haven't heard from those guys in forever. But yeah. There's always things falling into obscurity, isn't there? Or aren't there? I'm not sure. Which sounds right. It's weird sometimes. Candelabra door, okay. So if you want to see an upgrade, we have to get Fire Wand or X. Or Whip. But we have 3 options still, so it's not that unlikely. If they could what I'm doing here with randomized items, or pseudo-randomized items, I should say rather, if they could make that a game mode, I would be quite happy. You know, I will on occasion, of course, play regular runs just for upgrading new stuff, you know. Would probably take forever if I would let that come down to chance, but otherwise I'm all for a randomizer mode. Also couple that with a random character or something, and yeah. I don't even need a reward for that, but it would be nice if we would do something like, I don't know, you get a little bit more in-game experience, like I mentioned before, or, you know, a little bit more gold, like the maps in hyper mode already give you. Just give me another checkbox for total random with another 10% or something. Whatever it is. Maybe even with random modifiers, you know, in terms of your stats. Yeah, you can go crazy with that. Come on, Pumas, get out of here. You're not going to get me. Probably old vets thinking of an arm or something. They can totally screw you over though. What I found out is when I played my no power-ups run, so by the way check that out if you haven't seen already. Yeah, no power-ups and you know, getting hit by a couple of those exploding rays, you know, can screw you over quite heavily. Had a close call or two in this video. But yeah, with maxed out upgrades it's not too bad, you know, you have to hit a couple of times more for that to even matter. And as the game likes to give us armor, you know. Not exactly bomb-proof, but close to. Just feels like regular damage or maybe a hit from a boss or something. Would like to see something drop besides gold though. Not in terms of pick items you can... I believe I just tied a knot in my brain there. Yeah, with items which you can pick up, which I don't mean, but rather, you know, from getting chests after upgrading everything and drop boss chests. Well, that took a while to get out there, you know. Forming thoughts into words is quite a process, I have to say. And no, I'm not a stoner, nor have I ever been, you know. I just derp out sometimes, that's all. But I know people, you know, who have smoked too much in college or high school. They got really slow 100% of the time, you know. They basically smoked themselves to the level of an ape. So, if you're sitting in the same boat, you know, maybe considering smoking less. You have to take away your fun, you know, but maybe treat it like, I don't know, people like drink beer, like, you know, have a blunt or two on the weekends, you know, maybe make a whole day out of it with your friends, I don't know, but every day, come on, man. And don't kid yourself by saying, oh, it helps me sleep, you know, you just get used to it helping you sleep, but you can do so without, you know. Alcoholics bring the same arguments, so don't get me started on that. You know what you're doing. Coming up with excuses for your addiction. I should know, right? Oh, we haven't even talked about garlic, right? Well, there's nothing to talk about really, you know. Now we stink a little more than usual, you know, bearing our bare chest, but other than that, it really doesn't do anything for us at this point. Yeah. This time I managed to actually catch a glimpse of the boss, but didn't really notice fully while rambling about drugs and all. But at least I saw him in comparison to the last couple of times. Though it's random what spawns on this map as a boss, right? Last time I did my no movement challenge I saw the library boss, which is kinda sad, but there's also... well, any one of those bosses can spawn here, that's how it goes, right? Something like that. Yeah, Santa definitely doing good work. You know, sprinkling the yard and all. which I'm glad I don't have to do anymore. It's, water itself is, you know, super cheap, but especially, you know, coming straight out of your faucet, but it quickly adds up if you have to, you know, pour, you know, gallons upon gallons upon gallons each day into your yard, just so it doesn't burn up the next day, dry out, and then you have to, you know, get seeds again, and it's a whole process. I quite enjoy yard work, especially during summer, you know, but not when I'm forced to do it. Just on occasion for fun, you know. I can achieve the same effect, you know, growing some tomatoes on my balcony or something. Medusa, Medusa, can't turn me to stone, I'm already rock hard. Oops. You know, the first time I played Library, after a couple of waves there's those small Medusa heads, similar to those on the screen right now, which float in a pattern through from one side to the other. I actually thought immediately that I would die in one hit if I touched them, so I avoided them at all costs. Just thinking back to, you know, the early Castlevania games where exactly that happened, you know. You could not fuck around with the Medusa head. It was you know, always something you had to touch, you know, with your continuous going on and all that. Did that game even have continuous? I believe so. Most games did, you know, they were basically arcade games, so they all did, yeah. Imagine my surprise when I didn't die in one hit. And now I don't even think about it much. But yeah, there you go for a random tidbit of information. Maybe you had similar experiences starting game, but I believe you have to be at least a certain age to, you know, have grown up with those kinds of games. God, the ungodly amount of rage we felt even in the first couple of years of school, you know, playing those old school games which were hard as fuck just so you would put in more quarters in your machine. Which, of course, they didn't change the first years in the gaming industry, even at your home system, so yeah, it was still hard as fuck, you know, and you had to basically play through the whole game in one sitting, which, if you know, if you were good at the game, you know, it took you about, I don't know, half an hour thereabouts, but yeah, the amounts of tries you had to endure to even get to this point, ridiculous. Well, we're getting spawned as fuck here, but yeah, our items are holding up, and remember, we still got a revive going on. Going to take a chicken. Little tasty safety chicken though. Which, as I mentioned, doesn't break the rules, you know. I'm randomly picking the other items by the first option, not this one though. Kill me, daddy. Kill me twice. There you go. Also, quite fun run. Let's see here. Heaven Sword, actually our heavy hitter, followed by Rune Tracer. And Santa Water, yeah. Something like that I had imagined at the beginning. So yeah guys, thanks for watching, hope you had fun. If you did, consider leaving a like. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. And see you around the next time. Bye bye.